Hey there everyone, Robert Taylor with Wonderscape Creations, continuing on with the World Builder series, specifically with the auto material. We just have two more videos going over masks, and then we will get into the material itself so that we get more than just black and white. But before we continue, I would like to have a brief shout out for my Patreon supporters. If you would like to join this community, the link is down below. So we will be doing the area mask today. And to help you guys follow along, I have created two masks that we will be utilizing. They're just simple, help border the island, and they will be in the link below. I mean, in the description below, so that you guys can download those to utilize them for this project. So go ahead and get those downloaded now. Now, as far as an area mask goes, it can be super simple or it can be super complex. Because I'm making this tool set for everyone, and because I'm making it with the idea that not everyone has World Creator or some other generator that can automatically generate the area masks for them, I'm thinking of those people who are going to use Windows Paint or something to just create a black and white image. We are going to do a few extra steps to ensure that no matter how you make your worlds, you're going to have a great deal of flexibility. So obviously, the first thing we want to do is go to our materials, landscape, material functions, masks, and we want to right click, create a new material function. And this one we will name mf underscore area mask, and then as per usual WBT for world building tutorial. And we're going to open her up, and the first thing we're going to want to do is obviously get a texture sample. And before we do anything else, we need to make sure we go to the sampler source and make it wrap. We don't want to run into any issues down the road. So before we do the right side, again, we will do the left side. There are a few things that we're going to make sure that we do correctly. So we're going to pull out of the UVs and make an add. Now the reason we want this add is because through the B, we are going to make it to where each individual, you can move your area mask along the X and along the Y, so that, like I said, if you're hand painting and you made a general shape right here, I know it's hard to see with the black mouse, so right down here, but the spot shows up here, you can then just have it move there through what we're about to do. So first we want an append. We don't want an append many. Did they get rid of the append? Or is it this? Okay, append vector. We want the append vector. First thing we want to do, divide by 100. We want this twice. And then out of here, we will put a input of UVY offset. Preview, hold down the 1, we're going to keep it at 0. And then again, we're going to want another one of these. I'm just going to copy and paste. And we are going to want to make it an X. And if you hear the scraping in the background, I do apologize. My dogs are having fun with a plate. So let's go ahead. We have that set up. Perfect. Sorry, I'm wanting to do a little cleanup. If you don't have this habit now, you probably want to get it. All right. Now out of the add, we want to get a custom rotator. Now this one is exactly what it sounds like. It's to rotate the texture. So that way, if you want to spin it around, see what the way it looks best, that's how you're going to do it. Now we're going to pull out of here and do a divide. And then out of this top, we will do a texture coordinate. Then out of here, we will do another input. This one being the UV size, so the size of the texture. Let's go ahead and do that. Use preview, and we will hold down the 1, and I'm going to put a preview of 512. And just as a brief pointer outer, the reason for this divide of 1,000 is so that it moves, for every 1 it moves a meter instead of moving a centimeter. So there's that reason right there. Now here, you'll see right here that the default value is 0.5, so it's going to rotate the texture from the very center of the image, of the texture. So if you put it at 0, 1, then it would rotate from the edge of the texture and always wrapping around it. It looks ridiculous, but you can do that if you want. We're keeping it at 0.5, so we're not even going to be pulling out of that one. Now for the custom rotator, do another divide of 100. And the reason we are doing this is because if you do the rotation, it starts at 0 and you go to 1, nothing's going to change. And that's because you need to be between 0 and 1. It's right here, it says that. So we're dividing by 1,000, so now when it's 1, it just goes a little bit. Divided by 100. So now once we get to 100, it'll be back to the exact same orientation that it was before. And then we're going to get another input. This one will be called UV rotation. Use preview value of 0. Fantastic. So now that we have this part done, we can get on to the right side. The right side has a few things. Obviously, there's edge noise. I will actually just copy and paste from one of the nodes we've already done to make it easy, because it's going to be pretty much identical. All right. So at this point, you have a choice. Pull out of one of these 3 pins or pull straight out of RGB. The only reason you would do that is if you wanted to make it to where you had 3 textures within the texture. You've seen stuff like that before. If not, we'll be going over that more in detail later on. But as for me, I'm just going to pull out of one of these pins. First, you want a power node. Input. And we want this to be a mask contrast. As per usual, we want to check mark the use preview value. Let me see what the contrast is. It is at 1. Okay. Then we're going to saturate it. Saturates are free, so don't feel like you're overusing it if you put saturates over and over and over again in between nodes. Like I said, it's a free thing to do. Let's see if I can spell multiply. Now we're going to want to multiply. I'm going to pull out of this, input, mask sharpness. Check mark that box. It's going to be a 1. So let's get rid of the crossover here, because it's not what I like to do. And then another saturate. This was one of my very first masks that I ever made, so I used saturate a lot. And I figured I would keep it because, like I said, it doesn't hurt. Now hold down the L button so we get alert. We're going to put the B right there. And the A is going to be connected to the R. All right. And we will pull out of here for an input. This one is mask density. Use the value of 1. Then over here, yet another saturate. And then we're going to put a 1 minus. And we want a switch. No, not that switch. Static switch. There we go. Put this in true. If not, false. Drag out of here for an input. Remember to change this to a static bool. And invert mask. It's a bool thing. I like to put a question mark when I remember to. Use the preview value, and we have it the default set to false. So I'm going to put that here. Default false. Going to get a static bool. Keep it at false. Perfect. Now we are going to real quick open up our noise mask. Nope, sorry, not the noise mask. 1 second, something is missing. Nothing is missing. I remember just as I hit the pause button, I did not have that in there. We want to open up the height mask so that we can get this information right here. We want this. So copy it, paste it. Huzzah. The whole thing is clean. Now, as you can see right now, there is no texture. We need to make sure we get that taken care of, and we're going to do that right now. We will first put this stuff up like this, and drag out of here, input. We have our texture 2D, and this is going to be the area mask. We'll use what's available, which we want a texture object, because that's going to bother me. I'm going to disconnect that and reconnect it, and now it's going to show up. And there we have it. For the texture, you can use whatever. For now, it's just a placeholder, obviously. So now we need to number all of these. So the first thing that is numbered I'm going to probably change this up a little bit. So we're going to set this. We're going to keep that at 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we have these. What is this? It's also an 8, so we got to keep going. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. There we go. Now we're going to hit save. Oh, one thing that I just remembered, we have not added this to the library. And I just, of course, closed the height mask that has this. There we go. Let's save. Right click, masks, area mask. Place that in here. First thing we want is, I believe, okay, so we have one, but it's texture object, parameter, area mask. For now, we'll put noise. I'll just pick that one, because why not? Not enough black and white, actually. There we go. We'll use this one. Place that. And then we're also going to want to hold down the S for the UV size. Go to 512. Nope, not 3. 512 for now. There we go. Save. And now we have ourselves a goofy looking mask. Because we're using a goofy looking mask. Now then, obviously I'm going to put the slope edge noise right there, because that one bothers me. Now it looks a lot more reasonable. Now the next thing I want to do is get these textures in here. So we will go to... we don't have one yet. We went to Materials, Landscape. We will now do a new folder called Textures. And those textures that I told you to download, you will put here. Just drag and drop them in there. And it's okay that they're red. It's normal. If you want to, we can open them to make sure. Right now it's saying user face 2D. That is not what they are. We want them to be grayscale. Like I said, they can stay the same. You can go with default. We are going to have them be grayscale. Alright, now we come here to the auto material. Let me shrink things down here, make it easier. Check mark this. Drag that bad boy in. As you can see right now, it's still patterned, checkered. That's because you want it to be the same size as your landscape. Voila. That is how areas work. Obviously, I didn't spend a crap ton of time perfecting this, so as you can see, there is some boxing going on. That's going to happen. Messing with the sizes will work, and also making sure that wherever you're painting has more smoothing and the texture being bigger would indeed help. So that is how area masks work. And now that we have the area mask, we will end this episode, and I will see you in the final one where we will do an angle mask, meaning having it just show up on a specific side instead of the slope where it's all around. It'll just be the left side, the right side, the front side, the back side, whatever you choose it to be. See you in the next video.